श्री स्वामीनारायण भगवाननी जय, अक्षर पुरुषोत्तम महाराजनी जय, गुणातीतानंद स्वामी महाराजनी जय, भगत जी महाराजनी जय, शास्त्री जी महाराजनी जय, योगी जी महाराजनी जय, प्रमुख स्वामी महाराजनी जय, गुरु हरि महंत स्वामी महाराजनी जय, प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज शताब्दी महोत्सवनी जय. Namaste and Jai Swaminarayan. We would like to welcome you and everyone else who is sitting at home watching to this first class of the BAPS Tabla for Beginners course. The purpose of this course is to help train and guide anyone, anywhere wishing to learn tabla. Many people have experienced long-distance traveling, regular commitment, and a good teacher quite hard to find. Through this course, we aim to remove many of the difficulties that you and your friends may have faced in learning tabla. What we are trying to do is to help you to learn in the comfort of your home, at your own pace and in your own time. Many people would like to be able to play in our sabhas, festivals, and also spiritual gatherings to offer the devotion by using their skills and talents. We want to equip you with the basic knowledge and abilities to achieve exactly what you are looking for. This BAPS Tabla for Beginners course is a carefully tailored set of 60 classes to help every beginner be able to play with many of our bhajans and kirtans only. We hope you have acquired your own pair of tabla and are now ready to regularly learn through this unique online tabla course, which we hope you will enjoy and see yourself progress in quite quickly.
परमं धामाक्षरं ज्ञानदम् वन्दे प्रागजिभक्तमेव मनघम् ब्रह्मस्वरूपं मुदा वन्दे यज्ञपुरुषदास चरणम् श्रीयोगिराजं तथा प्रमुखं महन्तगुणिनं मोक्षाय भक्त्या सदा
સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાનની જય. ભગવાને આપણને મનુષ્ય દેહ આપ્યો છે, સાથે સાથે ભગવાને આપણને બુદ્ધિશક્તિ પણ આપી છે. સાથે સાથે ભગવાને આપણને એ રીતે જેને કહીએ કે અનેક કળાઓ પણ આપી છે. અને આપણે જોઈએ તો આપણા સંસ્કારની અંદર સાહિત્ય, સંગીત, કલા આ બધું આવશ્યક છે. કારણ કે એનાથી આપણા હૃદયની, આપણા મનની અને એ રીતે આપણા અંતઃકરણની બુદ્ધિની ચિત્તની અનંત રીતે એનું ઘડતર થાય છે અને એ સંસ્કારિત થાય છે અને એનાથી એવા જેને કહીએ ને કે આપણને દેખાય નહીં પણ બહુ જ સુંદર સંસ્કારો આપણને પ્રાપ્ત થાય છે, જેથી કરીને આપણા વિચારો, આપણું વર્તન આ બધું ખૂબ શુદ્ધ અને પવિત્ર થાય છે. એટલે જીવનની અંદર સંગીત બહુ આવશ્યક છે. શ્રીજી મહારાજ સાક્ષાત ભગવાન હતા તો પણ પરમહંસોને એ રીતે મહારાજે સંગીત શીખવાડ્યું. અને મુક્તાનંદ સ્વામી, બ્રહ્માનંદ સ્વામી, પ્રેમાનંદ સ્વામી, નિષ્કુળાનંદ સ્વામી, આ બધા જે મોટા મોટા કવિ સંતો હતા એ લોકો મહારાજની પાસે હંમેશા કીર્તનો ગાતા અને વાદ્ય બધા છે એ પણ વગાડતા. એમાં આપણે જોઈએ તો તબલા, તે વખતે પણ મૃદંગ અને એ બધી વસ્તુ હતી. તાલ છે બહુ મહત્ત્વની વાત છે. ગમે એટલું સુંદર આપણે ગાતા હોઈએ પણ જો તાલ ન હોય તો મજા ના આવે. એટલે તબલાનો જે તાલ એ પણ બહુ આવશ્યક છે. એ તબલાનો તાલ એ શીખવાને માટે આપણે અહીંયા આગળ આજે તે સંગીતના વર્ગો આપણે શરૂ કરીએ છીએ અને એ આપણને પોતાને પણ ખૂબ કામ લાગશે. આપણા જીવનની અંદર પણ ખૂબ જેને કહીએ ને કે આનંદ અને એક ફ્રેશનેસ જેને આપણે કહીએ અને એક બુદ્ધિ પણ આપણી ખીલે એ પ્રકારનો આપણને લાભ થશે. ખાસ કરીને આપણે ઘરે, ઘર સભાની અંદર અને મંદિરમાં ઠાકોરજીની આગળ, આપણે રવિવારની સભાની અંદર, ઉત્સવ સમયાની અંદર દરેક પ્રસંગે આપણે આ રીતે કીર્તનોની સાથે તબલાના તાલ એ આપણે મેળવીએ અને એ રીતે આપણે સૌ તબલા શીખીએ. એ માટે બહુ સુંદર તબલાના ક્લાસીસ ઓનલાઈન લંડન મંદિરમાંથી હવે શરૂ થઈ રહ્યા છે. આપણે માટે બહુ જ ભાગ્યની વાત છે, કારણ કે પ્રોફેશનલ જે તે વાદકો છે એ આપણને શીખવવાના છે અને 2 વર્ષનો જ કોર્સ છે. તો એની અંદર આપણને આ તબલાનું જ્ઞાન થશે તો એ તબલા વગાડવામાં, ભજન ભક્તિની અંદર આપણે ખૂબ આનંદ આવશે. તો એ લાભ આપણે લઈએ એ જ પ્રાર્થના. સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાનની જય.
Let us now start with the basics. As you can see, there are 2 pieces that make up tabla. The small piece, which is known as the treble drum, is known as a dayu or daya. It is also known as jivari or tablu. The reason why it is called daya is because mostly it is used by the right hand. The second piece is the bass drum, which is known as a bayu or baya or a dago. Bayu means left hand. When these 2 pieces are put together, we use the term tabla. As everybody is different, please place the tablas in the position that you feel comfortable playing them. We will now look at the individual parts of the tabla. The medan is the area between the shahi and the inner rim. Here you can see it being pointed to. The shahi is the inner black circle. The kinar is the inner rim. The gajaro is the outer rim, which holds the skin of the tabla to the body and the base. The vadhar are the straps that are tied around the gajaro and the base of the tabla to hold the skin in place. Datta are the pegs used to tighten or loosen the skin of the tabla to tune it. Indhoni are the rings underneath the tabla, which are used to sit the tabla on comfortably. We will now look at the posture and how to position your hands on the tabla. It is very important to get this right from the start, so please be careful when learning this. Firstly, take the 2 rings and place them in front of you on the floor. Now, take the bayu and place it in a comfortable position in front of you in the ring. Now take the dayu and also place it in the other ring in front of you. Now it is very important to make sure that the tablas are also positioned correctly when playing. The tablas should not be flat facing upwards. They should not be facing you, but they should be facing one another at a slight angle like this. Now we will look at how to place your hands over the tabla and maintain the correct position when playing. Take one hand and place it a few inches above the tablu. Now slowly lower the hand to sit on the tablu, but making sure that the finger is running across the middle of the tablu. When you play tabla, try to make sure your arms are in a comfortable posture, pointing inwards in a symmetrical manner, like this. If you are slightly short in height, try to use a pillow to sit on so that you're in a comfortable position, so your arms are placed over the tabla in a very comfortable way. Slowly pull your arm backwards and allow your little finger and ring finger to rest on the edge of the tablu. Raise the index finger and middle finger, and then slowly bring the index finger out, so when it bounces on the outer edge of the tablu. Let us now look at how to use our hands to play each of the tablas. First, we will look at the bayu. Place the base of your palm at the edge of the shahi like this. Now slowly pull your fingers inwards to make a cup, and when you hit the bayu, hit on the other side of the shahi on the maidan area by bouncing the fingers on that area and pulling them inwards. To play the tablu, place your fingers over the edge of the tabla, then lift the first 2 fingers and allow only the index finger to bounce on the edge. The 4-step process. Step 1. The first step is to simply look at the screen. So when you see a red light appear on the screen, it means you should only look at what is being shown on the screen. Focused observation is a very important part of learning something. Step 2. The second step is to listen. This listen symbol is represented by the yellow light. So again, whenever you see a yellow light appear, you must only listen to what is being said or played on the screen. There may also be instances where you will see 2 lights at the same time, which means you must follow both of those steps together. For example, if both the red and yellow lights are seen together, you should be looking at the screen and listening carefully. Step 3. The third step is to learn by heart. This step is symbolized by a blue light. In this step, we advise you to learn what is being shown on the screen by heart. The reason for this is because when it has been learnt by heart, it makes the practical part of actually playing on the tabla much easier. Step 4. The fourth and final step is to launch or play. This step is symbolized by the green light. Only when you see this light on the screen should you then begin to play on your own pair of tablas. Until then, we strongly advise that you concentrate on what is being shown on screen. We will now begin our first practical part of playing on the tabla. Bols are the sounds that we play on the tabla, which when played in succession turn into a tal or pattern. The tabla bols will speak for themselves if we listen carefully. Let us begin by learning the different sounds that we can hear when playing the tabla. We will first be learning how to play various bols on the tablu or the dayu. First, we will learn how to play ti ta. Ti ta can also be said as te te. In order to play ti ta, you will need to keep the 3 fingers of your hand together and hit the center of the shahi by raising your hand and then hitting the fingers onto the shahi with a sharp, flat sound, like this. Once you have learned how to play ti, you then need to play ta, which comes in succession after the ti. In order to play the ta, you will need to use the index finger and hit the center of the shahi and also make a sharp flat sound, like this. Let us now play both of those in succession. Ti, ta, ti, ta, ti, ta, ti, ta. Now we will be learning one of the most important sounds in tabla, and that is the ta. The ta can also be said or written as na or da in tabla, but they are played in the same way. In order to play the ta, try to use the first segment of the index finger and hit it on the edge of the tablu by bouncing it off. Every time you hit the ta, it must make the same sound in the same position. Let us now play the ta several times in order to get used to playing ta. Ta, 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 ta. Now we will learn how to play the tin. In order to play the tin, try to use the first 2 segments of your index finger. Place them and hit the tablu on the medan and let the finger bounce off the tablu. The tin should also have the same sound every time you play it. Tin, 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 tin. The next sound on the tablu is the tun. The tun is played again using the index finger, but this time the index finger will be hitting the center part on the shahi and bouncing off the shahi to bring a nice resonance. Tun, 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 tun. Many a time when playing tun, many tabla players actually also play the ka with the tun, which becomes thun. Thun, 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 thun. Please try to practice all the different bols on the tablu carefully and slowly at the start. Do not rush and try to play it fast because you will make errors. We will now move on to the other tablu, which is the bayu. Earlier we mentioned how to position your palm and your hand on the edge of the shahi in order to play. We will first learn how to play ka, ke or ki. They are played in the same way but may be seen differently when written in a composition. The ka, ke or ki can be played in two different ways. Let us have a look at method 1. The first method is where we place the palm of the hand on the side of the bayu and slowly lower the palm onto the bayu, like this. Ka, 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 ka. The second method is where you can raise your arm and then gently place the palm onto the bayu, like this. Ka, 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 ka. To play ga, ge or gi, you can use either the middle finger or the middle two fingers depending on your strength. Place the palm of your hand at the edge of the shahi and then hit on the other side in the medan area only with the tips of your fingers when playing ga, 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 ga. We will now be looking at our first exercises in order to help us develop our skills. Exercise 1. Ta, ka, ta, ka, ta, ka, ta, ka. Exercise 2. Ta ta ka ka ta ta ka ka. Exercise 3. Ge ge ti ta ke ti ta. Exercise 4. Ge ge ti ta ge ge ta ta. We humbly recommend that you practice regularly in your own time for at least 20 to 30 minutes every day, especially for the first few weeks, as this will make things a lot easier for you later on. Don't forget, 30 minutes of practice per day, either in one sitting of 30 minutes or 2 slots of 15 minutes. But 30 minutes a day is absolutely essential. For today's homework, we want you to practice all the bols and exercises covered in the class, and remember all the theory. We look forward to seeing you in the next class. Namaste and Jai Swaminarayan.